My favorite thing in the world is dates with peanut butter covered in dark chocolate. Put them in the freezer. They actually taste like a Twix bar. Welcome back to Self-Dom Beautiful Humans. Thanks guys for tuning in to a solo episode. I'm going to answer your questions that you left on the Self-Dom Instagram. So thank you so much if you left one. I also wanted to do a little life update. I don't get to do these often because the solo episodes are happening about once a month. So I thought I would fill you in. First of all, thank you so much if you purchased a gratitude journal. It means the freaking world to me. I have spent the last year creating it. There's a quote on every page. There's the prompts that I use every morning and night in this journal. It's laid out for you and it's a great way to start your morning and end your day. I wanted to share a bit of love and offer all my listeners free postage. So if you use the code selflove at checkout, you'll get free postage. And truly, it means the world to me if you get a journal. Like seeing some being sent out to places like Hawaii, New Zealand, Tamsworth, I'm like, it just warms my heart so much. And it feels good to be sharing a product that I just genuinely believe in and adore. So thank you again for all your support. Another life update is I just got back from Italy. My brother just got married there. His fiance, well, his wife, is actually Italian. So half the wedding didn't speak English. And you know what? We have a lot to learn from these people. They were so welcoming. Didn't speak a word of English, but were cheersing with us, dancing with us. It was just such a fun and vibrant wedding. So that was a treat. My mum came and she hasn't been well, but she was determined to get there and she made it. So yeah, it's just a week we'll never forget. And then I went to Sicily with Tom, which was so much fun. We just enjoyed being with each other, having quality time. Life can be a little bit crazy. I feel like we actually haven't had that much time to just chill and be together. So it was a real big treat. We also just indulged. I had Katie Williams on the podcast last week. If you haven't listened to that episode, you have to listen to it. She's freaking amazing, but we talk all about balance. And I believe that I kind of went a bit too far. I've been living such a healthy life and I've been feeling really good. Work's been pumping, so I haven't had much leeway, I guess, to let my hair down. I've needed all my energy to focus on work. But Italy really taught me that life's about balance. We just had Aperols, we were having ice cream, I wasn't focused as much on my macros, and it felt really good. I'm not going to lie. And I think it's a good reminder that you need to have that balance. That 80-20 rule is so important. I reckon I was at the 90-10 mark. And that's okay for a season, but it's not okay for a lifetime. I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to take a little bit of that into my life here and just remove any guilt. Because guilt doesn't serve you. As I always say, it creates cortisol in the body. And I always try to be as open, honest, and genuine with you all to tell you how I'm going so it can inspire someone else if they were maybe taking it a little bit too far as well and losing the joys of just being a human being, like enjoying what life throws at you. So it was a really amazing time. And I am happy to be home, but truly I'm missing the sunshine. It was just the best. So yeah, as I said, today's going to be a Q&A. Thank you everyone who asked questions. I'm going to have a look now. I haven't looked at them and yeah, let's go. How are you going post-pill? Just recently came off too and has been a journey. So I would say I'm at the 3-month mark now and I have only just started feeling changes, let's say that much. My skin texture feels different. That's something I've noticed. I haven't got pimples, but my texture, it's like under the skin, bumps. Please let me know if this is something you dealt with and how you got rid of it. I'm actually seeing where I get my facial, Solstice Skin in Bondi, to have a look at my skin and see if we need to change up my serums and products, because it also could be due to the dry weather that we have in winter. I'm not sure, but my texture of my skin has changed. A bonus is my hair is growing so fast. I went to the hairdresser and she's like, you have baby hairs everywhere. Like, your hair is growing at such a crazy speed. I was like, it must be since going off the pill. So it's been really good for my hair growth. Bloating. I haven't dealt with bloating for the last couple of years since I got my diet and stuff in check. But to be honest, even if I'm eating simple, plain, and just, doing all the right things, I feel bloated, which is interesting because everyone's like, when you go off the pill, you don't have water retention. But this is my experience. I definitely feel a little bit more bloated. And in my mind, I'm hoping and I'm praying that it means my period is going to come soon, because I've had a few other symptoms, which are a little too TMI to say on the podcast. I know 95% of the listeners are women, but I'm still like, I was like, do I share it? Do I not? But yeah, I feel like I have all the symptoms of getting my period. So I'm really manifesting it comes on. I'm really ready to feel in tune with my body, to eat the right way according to my cycle. I've been reading In the Flow by Alyssa Vitti, and it's gotten me feeling super positive about this experience and accepting of this experience. It's realizing that women have a 28-day cycle, not a 24-hour cycle. So right now I might feel a little bit more bloated, a little bit more tired, but maybe next week I'll have energy and be super productive. So this book has really helped me feel positive and encouraged to keep going. So that's what's been happening since I have gone off the birth control pill. If any of you have stories or things that are working for you, please DM me. I love seeing this stuff and it really helps me on my own journey. How to wake up earlier. Okay, I am currently so jet lagged, and I used to wake up at 5:30 naturally. I am so out of whack that I feel like I need to tell myself these tips to remind myself. I was actually thinking about this morning. I feel like I'm starting my wellness journey. I feel like I'm starting again since this jet lag because I have to get up earlier. So for me, it's setting the alarm at 6 a.m. at the moment, and I'm exhausted when that alarm goes off. I'm tired. But the moment I see that sunrise, I'm like, shit, this was so worth it. And I know I always bang on about gratitude, but every morning after I go for my walk, I write in my gratitude journal. And I'm always grateful for movement, seeing the sunrise, and meditating. I'm always grateful for them. And that's a reminder for me to get up early and get that done before the workday starts, because I feel so much better. So setting that alarm and just getting sunlight in your eyes first thing, not only does it make you feel incredible, but it allows the melatonin production to stop in your body, which means you get energy and you'll feel vitalized for the day. It also sets your circadian rhythm. So the more you do this, the more your body will start being more in tune with light, which means when the sun sets, the melatonin production will increase and you'll be able to fall asleep earlier. Going to bed earlier is the key for waking up earlier. But because I'm jet lagged, I completely understand. Like, I am not tired at all at night, and it's not worth forcing yourself to go to bed earlier. So my simple tips are just to do gratitude and awareness, to get the sunlight in your eyes, and also take it back 15 minutes. You don't need to go from waking up at 8 a.m. till 5 a.m. Go from 8 a.m. to 7:30 to 7 and see what works with you. Another tip as well is eating breakfast. Eating breakfast is crucial at setting your circadian rhythm up. So if you eat breakfast, you're more likely to go to bed earlier because you've set that up. So that's something I've been trying to incorporate too, because I'm not hungry in the morning because it's like dinner time or the wrong time in Italy, but I'm really, really focused on getting into that good routine. Some good tips on how to cut out refined sugar. I feel you, sister. Like, it is not easy. First of all, sugar is so addictive. It's in so much of our food. And I actually do feel sorry for us because these big corporations make the food highly addictive. They make it so hard for us to stop having it. My biggest tip when it comes to reducing your sugar intake is always go for a natural alternative. So for me, my favorite thing in the world is dates with peanut butter covered in dark chocolate. Put them in the freezer. They actually taste like a Twix bar. So putting in that time and effort to create healthy snacks that will satisfy your craving is so important. And it's an act of self-love to yourself to prepare your own snacks. Sugar cravings, especially at like 4 p.m., are super, super common. So you want to be prepared. You don't want to be driving that hunger cue, that sugar craving comes on. You pull into a servo, you take a chocolate bar. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be prepared. So I love it as a Sunday ritual to prepare some sort of snack for the week and mix it up. There are so many recipes. I really love Scoop It Up. My friend Sarah, she posts incredible recipes on her Instagram. They're all super easy, refined sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, all the good stuff, but 100% taste delicious. So prepping is huge. I also think a big thing is keeping a food diary. If you're at the start of your journey, it's such a good way to see what you're eating and what you're consuming from like an outsider perspective. So you'll get to the point where you'll be like, okay, I had a sweet treat after my lunch. Maybe I don't need another one at night, and kind of just allowing yourself to visually see when you're having sweets. I try limit myself to one sweet a day. I think it's a really good way to do it. It's balanced because a lot of people do 75 days hard, for example, where you can't have anything. And I think that's quite restrictive. But for me, knowing I have my dark chocolate after my tea, or knowing I've made like a treat that I can have in the evening or in the afternoon, that keeps me on track because I'm going to enjoy it, have that sweet. I also think the 80-20 rule is, again, so important. If you're someone who really loves having a decadent cheesecake, give it to yourself on that Sunday or on that Saturday, and you know you have that the whole week. Enjoy it. It's such a good way to connect as well. I truly believe this. When me and Tom were in Bali, there's a place called Alchemy. I'm actually obsessed with it. It's all natural and sugar-free, but they use dates and nuts. And every night we'd go get a sweetie treaty and we'd pick out like a few and we'd share them. And it's such a bonding experience to share a sweet with someone. So go have that cake, have those beautiful conversations with someone, have that croissant, but 20%. Life is too short to be 100% clean all the time. So yeah, my biggest tips are find alternatives and also limit it to 20% and enjoy it in that 20%. Okay, this one's a little bit different because it's not health and wellness related, but it said how to grow your social media following. So I feel very lucky because social media came about when I was about 15 and I was an early adapter. I remember I was working at Glassons in Bondi Junction and I was taking photos at the time, putting them on socials, Instagram, with all those like funny filters and borders. And my mum took a photo of me before I was going to work out the front of the house. I put it on Instagram. Next thing I knew, it was viral. I don't know why. It was just how the algorithm worked at that time. So from there, I was able to build momentum a lot easier than it is now, I have to say. It was easy to get to that 10K, to that 20K. But what got me there was consistency. If you look at the amount of photos I've posted, I'm actually going to have a look. I've posted 3,154 posts. So consistency is key with socials, and it can be super disheartening because, you might not get as many likes or this, but take that out of the equation. If you love what you're doing and you're doing it for a good thing, whether you get 5 likes and those 5 people are your target audience and they love what you're doing, do it for them and do it for you. Social media for my experience has been such a positive thing, and I feel really grateful. I think one of the things is quite interesting. I've been reading a lot about it because I'm so nervous for the younger generations and their addiction to the phone. But there wasn't social media when I was going through puberty, and so I was able to develop people skills and in-person skills. And then when social media came about, it was a great way for me to share my life and connect with people. It wasn't what it is now. But yeah, I do get nervous for the younger generation because, last night we were at dinner at Americo, amazing restaurant. And there was a family there, and it wasn't just the kids on their phone. The child on his phone, I think he looked about 15 years old, and he wasn't conversing with his family. So that kind of was quite scary. But tangent, sorry. If you want to grow your following, consistency, so important. High quality content, so important. Consistency is one thing, but you have to produce good content. Another thing is you have to be streamlined. You have to know what you're about. So using me as an example, my personal account, I call it an account about food and fits. I love food and I love fits, and that's what I post. And it was one of the big reasons I created Self-Dom as well, because I had so much more I wanted to share, but I knew that it wouldn't get the traction on my account because it wasn't streamlined. But with Self-Dom, I can streamline it to just that wellness educational content. So I think knowing your purpose and your goal with social media is a great way to grow your following. What value are you offering your audience? Even though I said it's so much harder to get an audience these days, what's incredible is that micro influencers are really valued. I've just created my journal, and a friend of mine posted it yesterday. She doesn't have many followers. And I got 6 orders from her instantly. And I was like, wow, small audience, but engaged. So don't focus on the numbers. Focus on the engagement. Have streamlined content. Be consistent. And another thing as well is if you have other friends in the industry, tag each other. Be collaborative. There's enough success for everyone. So yeah, those are my tips to grow your social media following. Finding balance with food on holiday. I battle with this so much. As I kind of mentioned in the intro, I really just enjoyed myself when I was away. But in saying that, a few things were my non-negotiables. 1, gluten-free and dairy-free. I just cannot eat that way. I've always been told, go to Italy, you can eat the gluten, you'll be fine. 2 years ago, I went to Italy and ate the gluten. I've never come home more unwell. My skin flared. My belly was so bloated. I felt so unwell. And I just thought, nah, it's not worth it. So super duper strict on that. I would have a big salad always. So if we ordered the pasta and the pizza, we'd have a salad with it. And I always like to order it first. The Glucose Goddess talks a lot about this in your insulin and your glucose, but it's such a good hack. You also fill up on the veggies and the good things, the fiber, the micronutrients, before you just carb load. So that was such a simple hack. So I still enjoyed all the food, but I had my little hacks to find balance. I also always started my morning with a high protein meal. So it was eggs. I was having a lot of sausages, and just whatever they had at the buffets at the hotel we were staying at, because a high protein breakfast really satiates you and then stops those cravings. So at lunch or at dinner, I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm ravenous, I just need to eat a whole pasta. I was happy to eat slow. I was happy to eat mindfully. I think remembering as well is that it's not your last meal on earth. You don't need to eat to capacity all the time. Just eat to 80%. Tom and I always, at the end of our meal, be like, are you at 80%? And maybe in Europe we were at 85, a bit more than we should have. But yeah, we were at 80%. You're a nice amount of satiated. Tips for when you are feeling lost and just going through the motions. This question is something I think we all resonate with. Life is ebbs and flows. That's just how it goes. And didn't mean to rhyme. And for me, meditation has been such an incredible tool when I'm feeling a bit low or when I'm feeling a bit lost. Because when I didn't meditate and I felt this feeling of lost, I would just doomsday scroll on my phone. That is not going to help. You need to switch off your external environment and go inside and just listen to the voice within. You always know deep down what the answer is, what your purpose is, what ignites you. But we have just been ignoring that for so long. So I really recommend you meditate, whether it's a 5-minute body scan. It's such a good way. I really love this quote. I'm probably saying it wrong, but if you're not feeling good in the body, use your mind. If you're not feeling good in the mind, use your body. So if you're feeling a lack of energy and a lack of motivation, move your body. Dopamine, serotonin, all those good things happen inside and you will just get on a better trajectory. Again, these things don't just happen overnight. You have to be consistent. Consistency is everything. But having a really good movement routine when you're feeling a bit flat can really help energize you. It will allow you to maybe have a good conversation with someone that leads to you finding another person who then connects you to a new job opportunity, whatever it is. When you present yourself as energized and your best self, it's like a domino effect. And it's pretty amazing. Another thing to do is gratitude. I know I bang on about it, but it is life-changing. It rewires your brain. I wish I had videos of me speaking and things like 10 years ago. I was such a different person, and just incorporating gratitude has changed my life and allowed me to find that stillness in the morning with the practice and then just go on my day in a more positive and open way. So gratitude is a great way. I think surrounding yourself with good people really, really helps. People that lift you up. People who you can have a deep conversation with and just say, hey, I actually feel really low at the moment. And whether you want to just maybe do something like a swim in the ocean with someone and not feel alone, or whether you want to have a conversation and do mind mapping and just figure out something for your next step. It's just one foot in front of the other. I truly believe that social media has now made us think that everyone's in their purpose, everyone's getting it right, but it's not how it is. It is your highlight reel. So don't compare yourself. That's why the meditation and the gratitude is amazing, because you're going inwards rather than doomsday scrolling and comparing yourself to what other people are doing. And yeah, just remembering that life is filled with highs and lows. It's all part of the journey. And you look back on this moment and say, oh, makes sense because I'm here because of that. So yeah, I am sending you so much love, and I hope that answers your question. I'm going to do one more. Tell me your fitness routine. I'm always asked about my fitness routine. I am definitely going to start sharing more about it. My non-negotiables when it comes to movement are walking. I just think that walking is so underrated. It's so good. I always do my 10,000 steps. At the moment, I've actually increased my weight training. I'm aiming for 2 to 3 times a week with my PT Giannis. I just feel my best when I do those sessions. First of all, he's so inspiring and we have such good chats and laughs. But I'm working to a failure point, and that's where you see the growth. Not only mentally, not only physically, but mentally, because you're pushing yourself to that hard mark. So I'm like, shit, I can do hard things. I do find sometimes when I just do Pilates and yoga, because I'm not pushing myself so hard, I'm a bit more low energy, I feel, which is good sometimes. And I do listen to my body. But yeah, I really am loving my PTs at the moment. I then do Pilates 2 to 3 times a week, and saunas 3 times a week are non-negotiable. 3 sessions at 30 minutes, 60 degrees. I just think saunaing is such a good way, not only to catch up with a friend, it's such a great way to habit stack, but it's also a great way to recover your muscles, burn calories, get dopamine in the body. If you have access to a sauna, I really, really recommend it. It's just the best thing ever. It's pretty cold in Sydney, so I haven't been ice bathing, but I'm determined to get in the ocean this week. It's on my to-do list. It's one of my goals. So yeah, that's my training at the moment. I'm loving my strength. I'm actually having a self-dom event on Saturday at Fox Fit. It's the first strength session workshop, and I'm so excited. So if you missed out, I'm sorry. Stay tuned, because I definitely want to do another one already, because it's been so fun organizing this one. So yeah, that's what's been happening in my world. Thank you all so much for your questions. Again, a little reminder, if you love this episode, share it. It really, really helps me. I have such dreams with this podcast, and yeah, every time you post something or share it, like I literally like squeal because I'm so excited. And also, if you want to get a gratitude journal, the link is in my personal account, Dominica Lisa, or the Self-Dom bio. And yeah, use the code SELFLOVE for free shipping. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode.